Αν όμως βιώνεις, όπου και αν βρεθείς, όπου και αν σταθείς, μέσα σου Ιησούς Χριστός, χθες, σήμερον, αυτός εις τος αιώνας.
You grew up as a Lutheran, right?
Yes, that's right. I had a confirmation in my Lutheran belief when I was a teenager.
And when you grow older, did you start looking to other spiritual avenues, religions and faiths?
I would say when I was in my 20s, I had a lot of struggles in two ways. I was struggling to find out what to do in my life. That was one thing. And the other thing was to find out, to find someone to spend my life together with. That time at all, I was in a very, very severe situation in my life, because I felt that I had lost my life. It was the outcome of a long time looking for finding satisfaction in my life on a spiritual, bodily level that came out of control. It literally took control of me step by step, until at a certain moment it became so serious that in an instant of a moment I felt that some huge, I would say, power had penetrated my body in a way so that I could no more feel real life. It happened that I felt after that time it was deeply serious. And it was serious because I knew I could not go to a doctor and he would be able to tell me what to do to get out of it. It was such a situation that I did not know from which I would be able to receive help. I went to look at the churches. I remember when I came to the capital town in Crete, I went into one of these very old churches, and I felt when I came into this church, I felt some kind of relief from my disturbances. Not some kind, but quite strong.
Tell us about your visit in Moni Gonia.
Yes, it was a very old, middle-aged church. Monastery, in fact, close also to the capital in Chania. It was very beautiful. I felt touched when I was walking around in the church, and for some reasons, just before leaving the church, I decided to buy some souvenirs from the church, and I pick out a small icon. And I read on that icon, it's the icon of the Mother of God with the child. And for some reason I turn it around after having bought it, and I see it's a copy of a holy icon. I go home to my hotel room in the afternoon. Remember, I put the icon close to my bed, and about midnight time I sit down in my hotel room and I start to practice my meditation as I have done for many years. And for some short moments after, about 5 minutes after it happens, I feel that the smell from the church, it's like it's coming into the room. The incense from that I could recognize the incense from the church. It feels like it's coming like into my hotel room. I feel there's a presence, from somewhere that is very close, and also I feel it's very far away. And I feel, I feel it's come from a place that I would call holiness. I feel holiness coming. I get the experience of holiness. And I felt the first moment I felt that that there was someone watching me, you know, and who knew me. And I felt that they wanted to do me good. And after that, the second thought appeared to me, this means that Christianity is the truth. Read about it just, you know, roughly on what I could find from the internet. I read a little about church history, about, you know, different topics related to it. And I became, you know, it made sense to me, you know. It made sense to me that it was not only about a belief, it was also some kind of treatment.
Start to seek out healing in the Orthodox Church? Did you start trying to live it?
No, I did. You know, at that time I did not know so much about it. So I after also looking more at the internet, I realized there was a parish in Denmark, and it was called the parish, you know, for the veneration of the Mother of God. And to me, it also made sense to me. You know, I think, that is really, you're really lucky, you know, you find such a church also in Denmark. At that time, 1 year later, I was going to decide again where should I go for my summer holidays. And for some reasons I said to myself, don't think about it anymore. And then it happened, you know, 1 month later, it was a Friday evening, I was going to bed, and for some reason, you know, the word Romania, it comes to my mind. And then I'm sure that this time I'm going to Romania. On that trip I hired a car and I went to the northern part of Romania called Moldavia, which is, I had read before a little bit about it, which is, it's very Orthodox part of Romania. No, it was incredible. I would say my experience of the spirituality, I admit that was incredible. I remember even before I went to the first monastery, I felt a peace even maybe 200 meters before entering into the monastery. I felt when I came to these places, I felt that my breathing, you know, was calmed down. And I felt such a calm and also joy that it's difficult to explain, but it was for me to be in that country only for that week. It confirmed to me something about Orthodoxy. Even I still did not realize what is Orthodoxy about.
Back to Denmark, and what did the priest tell you when you went back to Denmark?
No, I told in the parish a little bit about my experience, you know, and I think they they listened. In 2006, in the spring, the priest, he comes to me and he said, Jens, now you have to. I think it's time now for you to consider to be a real member of our parish. Mm-hmm. What do you think about it? I said, yes. I think I've been waiting a long time, so it appeals to me. It's a good idea. And he invites me to his home, and he explains me about if I have some questions about Orthodoxy, and he asked me if about questions about. He wants to know how much do I know about Orthodoxy. So
what did you do for your preparation for the Chrismation?
Well, I prepared 2 ways. I prepared for my confession. And I prepared for my, you know, I tried I wanted somehow to clean myself from not eating, so I ate very little.
So what was your experience with the Chrismation? Can you talk about that?
Yes, the Chrismation was that I went to the confession, and I went I was received. It took about 1 hour, you know, at the church, and after that I received the Holy Communion, and it was something that I had been longing for, you know, for the 2 years I had been longing for this moment to happen, and I also had expectation, you know, or hoping for a bigger change in my life, you know. I dreamt about, you know, a totally healing, you know, that was my dream.
So you were expecting that on becoming an Orthodox, that you will find healing from the spiritual troubles that you were suffering. But the day of the Chrismation, that didn't happen.
It did not happen, no. It did not happen. I felt, to be totally honest, I felt that I was received somehow, But it was not something that I could say that changed anything in myself. But I felt something.
2006, and then you were about to take again your vacation.
I was going to take my vacation. At that time I had already decided to go back to Romania for another time, because I wanted to get the experience I had of high spirituality. I wanted to find out what could that do if I stayed, for example, in a monastery for a week or 2 weeks. It was, when you consider it, was very naive, but this was even what I thought about. What could that do if I stay for a week in a monastery? What will I experience? Am I supposed to become a monk? These thoughts I also had.
So you were longing for a deeper spiritual experience.
I was longing for, honestly, I was longing for healing, That was what I was longing. I was longing to find my life that I lost,
Tell us about your trip in Romania.
When deciding going back to Romania, like it has been for many times in my life after and a little bit before also, I received, I read about, as I recall it now, I read about Wallachia, because after deciding to go to Romania, that word came into my mind, Wallachia. So I read about Wallachia and I understood that was the second part of Romania with with many traditional monastic life.
Set up for the monastery. What was the name of the monastery? You remember the name of the monastery?
Yes, it was the skid, was not monastic life. It was the three monks living there and one priest.
What was the name of the abbot there?
His name was Father Philote.
So you went to the monastery there, you went to the skid, and how were you received?
Yes, I was as I said, I was brought with some 2 families. They brought me there, and I remember we stayed overnight before going up to the skid, and in the morning when we were going, I felt almost like going back again. I didn't feel that. I felt, what are you up to now? What is this?
You had temptations, right?
I don't know if it was temptation. It was just unfold. I didn't.
Or hesitation.
Hesitation was a better word. I had hesitation, but when I came up, I saw the 2 monks. We went directly to the church, and they were praying from the peace altar. And I was lucky. From the altar, yes. And I was lucky because there was a monk who was able to communicate in English. And so we waited for the priest to come, and we talked about different topics.
How were you received from the fathers there?
The father, he was, for me, when I first saw him, I saw him in the car, and he was he had such a happiness, I could not, I felt very attracted to him. Not attracted, but I felt, he's a human being. He's a human being, and he's a priest also, I know, but he's not a priest. He's a human being.
So you felt at home. You felt relaxed, right? You felt in peace.
Felt very much at home, yes. I stayed there for some days, and I began to speak with the monk, and I remember this kind of need to be able to tell someone about what had happened, what had brought me into all these troubles that I was in. And the priest, he started to listen with curiosity when I mentioned to him about the name Wallachian Arches. And I remember he said, "What?" He said, "What?" And I was the abbot of the monastery, yeah. And he got serious. He changed his clothes, and he received my.
He did put on his petrohili, his priest clothes.
Put on his new priest clothes, and he received my totally confession. I spoke to him about everything that had brought me into all these troubles that I was in.
So then what happened? The next day, the next couple of days, what happened after that?
Yes, the next couple of days, I think I went the day after in the midnight time, in the evening, the monk, he came to me and he said, Serafim, that was my Orthodox name I took in my Danish parish. Serafim, Father Philote decided that he wanted to baptize you on Sunday.
To baptize you? Were you surprised?
I was not, I did not know what it meant, but I was feeling, because he told me, while under my confession, he said to me, you should not, don't worry, Serafim, God, he loves you. I felt that, I gave myself to the priest, I trusted him totally, that he was able to comfort me in a way that I had no doubts about him in any way. So I trusted him totally.
When he told you that he was going to baptize you, you trusted him?
I trusted, I was happy because I felt that this was the thing that was needed to be done.
You thought that this would be my healing?
I did not even think that way, but I just trusted that I felt now his guidance. I felt I was in good hands, I felt his guidance, and I trusted him. That was it.
So then, how many days passed it after?
I remember, I think maybe 2 or 3 days, we went to excursions, we went out to buy to keep from my baptism. I was going to be put 3 times under the water.
So you were preparing all the things for the baptism?
Yes, I was preparing, yes. But I remember that special thing that was just the night before. I was having thoughts. I was at my room and I had the thoughts. I really believe you don't need this. There's no reason that you need this. And I believed in myself, there's no reason that you don't need this baptize. You are totally aware what are your problems. You even know how to cure them. You don't need them. You might as well go leave tomorrow and go out to get some summer holiday, This is what I thought. And I could have left, I could have left. I don't know why I did not leave, but some reason I did not leave. I stayed until the morning.
And this was Sunday, and the baptize took place on a Sunday. Tell us about the baptism.
Yes, it was. I remember it's a very bright day, sunshine day, and there was a whole community. And I remember I felt I was the central point in that community. And I felt very intimidated, because I was a little bit shy to have all this attendance from so many people. I did not, was not something that I really liked. But yes, what happened? It happened that, I was just following the things that I was being told to follow by the monk, the English-speaking monk. He told me everything that I had to do, I was reading from the prayer book, I was reading from the Orthodox creed, and I was reading from the prayers that I was going to deny my older belief. I was going to, all these things.
So, then came the time of the baptism. You went in the baptism font.
Yes, I went in and I was put under the water by the priest. And I remember, first time I did not recognize anything, but under the water the second time, when I stand up again, I felt totally renewed. And I felt like a king. It's not to say, I knew I was not a king, but I felt like the son of a king. I felt like the resurrected Christ himself.
This happened on the second time that you went under the water. Did you have an experience on the second time under the water? Yes,
I have the experience that I saw. I saw Jesus Christ as an icon. He was really an icon reflected in the water. That's what I thought. And the third thing I connected to this was that I felt, Jesus Christ as the ruler of the entire universe. I felt him as an energy or power unbelievable, that came from up down to me. This experience I received.
Did you find the healing that you were seeking all these years?
As I said, I felt totally new life. I felt totally a renewal of my life. That was the thing that I had been questioning. What is this orthodoxy? What is this orthodoxy about? I've been looking for that answer since I came to faith. What is it about? What is the Orthodox really about? That understanding of what it is, I would say it came to me in the baptism, yeah.
So then you returned back to your parish in Denmark after this event?
Yes, I returned home after having received some lessons from my father priest, how to live my faith, gave me instructions what to do. He said, keep your fast, go to church, receive Holy Communion, all the things I received from him. And when I came home, I had this experience I had, I felt was so precious that I wanted to go home. I wanted to share. I wanted to go to tell my parents at home what I had experienced in Romania. I thought it was necessary for them to know about, because I had the feeling that they were unaware about this difference that I had experienced. So for that reason, I wanted of good heart to tell them what I had experienced, just for them to know about it.
Yeah, the difference between Chrismation and baptism. Yeah. Did you tell that to somebody in the parish? Did you talk to people about it?
I told my godfather about it, and I think that he listened curious. He was curious about it, but he also said that I remember he said to me, if we are already baptized, the baptism is not needed. And he said to me, you have to go and tell our father about you. You have to tell him about it. And he also said to me, I think you should be aware that it could bring you into troubles. I went right away, and I told him what I've told you now, how it happened that I came to Romania, what happened, how I was brought to that monastery. And just before going to tell about my rebaptized, he asked me, he got a little bit, he was very nervous, I think. I felt he was nervous, and he said, you didn't get baptized, did you? And I said, yes, I was baptized. And he got so furious, he got so furious that I was also a little bit excited, that if I started a discussion with him now, it would be a big argument, So I just left it, and I said, yes, I became baptized. And he said, for that reason, I cannot no longer accept you for the Holy Communion.
This was the parish of the protection of the Mother of God in Copenhagen. And the priest there is Father Paul. So you were essentially excommunicated. You were barred from communion to that parish.
I was excommunicated, but he wrote me a letter, I received by email, and he said to me, he explained to me his reason for not being able to receive me in the church for the communion. Yes, that's one thing I want to explain. I think it's very important, because after I came to faith in Crete in 2004, And in that period of time, until first I got chrismated and after my baptized, I was especially after I had been meeting with the Orthodox Christians in Romania, and also with the parishioner in our parish, who was from Romania also. I somehow felt there was, without being able to explain, there was something about it that I knew was different, but I did not know about them. If I compared me to them, the way I saw them as the Orthodox, I saw her as Orthodox, and also compared to the parishioners in our parish, I felt there was a difference. And that difference I was curious to know about. And I would say, after I became chrismated, my searching to understand what is Orthodoxy about, I did not feel that I came to any understanding of what is it about. I was curious still to know what is Orthodoxy about. I know there is a difference. What is this difference about? I want to know about it. That understanding came to me the moment in my baptism. After I was baptized, that understanding of Jesus Christ as Lord in my life, that understanding, I felt understanding of Orthodoxy connected to that as Christ in our life, that we receive Him in our life through the baptism. That made the difference. From that moment on, I understood with my heart and my body and with my spirit everything what is Orthodoxy about. I received my answer, yes. No seeking anymore. No more seeking. No more seeking. It's finished seeking. Now it's just only working, you know.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Okay.